Hello everyone, today's video is all about the third level by Jack Finney. So in this video, you are going to study about theme, summary, characters and about the author. And I hope this video will help you prepare for MCQs as well as descriptive answer type questions. So for the content, we are going to study about the author, summary, theme and central idea and characters of the third level. Let's begin with about the author. So Jack Finney is author. He was born on 2nd October 1911 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, US. Then he died on 14th November 1995 in Greenbrier, California, US. As for the awards, he received World Fantasy Award and Life Achievement Awards. So Jack Finney first showed an interest in time travel in the short story collection The Third Level, right? So it was his first work. Finney's greatest success came with his science fiction novel Time and Again. Finney died of pneumonia, so you must be knowing it is an acute inflammation of the lungs caused by viruses or bacteria, and emphysema. It occurs due to an abnormal accumulation of air or other gases in tissues. So he died because of these diseases at the age of 84, not long after finishing From Time to Time, which was the sequel to Time and Again. Let's go on with the summary. In New York, the Grand Central Station has two levels. Nonetheless, Charlie, a 31-year-old city resident, talks that there exists a third level. Also, he claims that he has been there. So, to talk about this problem, he visits a psychiatrist friend. He calls it a walking dream wish fulfillment and explains Charlie's psychology by saying that the modern world is full of fear, insecurity, war, and worries. So, what happens? Then everybody wants to escape to some temporary refuge from reality. As for him, hobbies like stamp collection is an indicator of this escape. At times, the Grand Central Station seems like a maze to Charlie. While taking the subway earlier, he had lost his way a couple of times. One time, he entered the lobby of the Roosevelt Hotel, while the other time, he appeared at an office building that was 3 blocks away. However, this time he loses his way and something unique occurs. Charlie visits the third level. In the silent hallway, Charlie keeps walking, turning left and sloping downwards until he touches an architecturally old station, which is totally different from the two familiar levels. Moreover, there were old small rooms with fewer ticket counters and train gates, a wooden information booth, quivering open flame gas lights, and brass buttons. All this remind him of the architecture of the 80s. Further, he sees people in outdated outfits. When he noticed the date in the newspaper The World, he sees 11th of June 1894. When he tries to buy 2 tickets, he realizes that he needs old currency because he went to previous time. He always wanted to travel to Galesburg with his wife Louisa. Back in his head, it is a wonderful town still with big old flame houses, huge lawns, and tremendous trees. The place has pleasant and long summer days and where people have ample of time. Hence, the next day during lunch, he exchanges $300 for old currency amounting to some 200 only. In addition, the amount doesn't bother him as he believes that everything there will be cheaper. However, he could never again find the corridor that leads him to the third level. So, when his wife came to know about this, she asked him to stop looking for that place. Unexpectedly, his friend Sam Wiener also disappears and his wife keeps on looking for him. Moreover, Sam was the one whom Charlie shares his idea about Galsburg. So Charlie inherited the hobby of stamp collection from his grandfather. And someday, while looking at the stamp collection, Charlie finds a letter that was earlier not there. Also, it has the postmark on a faded 6-cent stamp with a picture of President Garfield. Further, the envelope read as 18th of July 1894 to Charlie's grandfather in Galsburg, and it addresses Charlie. In the letter, Sam tells Charlie that he has reached Galsburg and he invites Charlie and Louisa there. After going to stamp and coin shop, he gets to know that Sam exchanged $800 for old currency bills to establish his business in Galsburg. Besides, Sam was none other than Charlie's psychiatrist. Interesting, right? So let's move to the theme of the third level. So it is a story about a 31-year-old man named Charlie. Besides, this is a psychological story that refers to the subway at the Grand Central Railway Station, which takes passengers to Galsburg. In addition, this subway becomes the interconnection between the narrator's harsh reality and fantasy. Moreover, the third level was a way of escape for Charlie. As life in the modern world is full of uncertainties, worries, and stress, it takes Charlie to a different world that his friend also calls a walking dream wish fulfillment. Further, the story is about Charlie's tendency to escape from the world. Most importantly, the third level starts because of Sam's letter written on 18th July 1984. This story shows the connection between time and space. So, the third level is the story that weaves together a psychological journey of the narrator into past, present, and moved towards future. There is always a natural human tendency to constantly move between the past, the present, and the future. Keep it on yourself. We are also worried about what we did, what we are doing, or what we are going to do in future. So past, present, and future are strategically and organically interconnected. Man is mortal and has many good and bad aspects of life, like love, profit, loss, good or bad, etc. All these aspects tend to affect the human mind. Then, existential worries act like a catalyst for making the human mind constantly move between the past, the present, and the future. So, in short, the third level is a study of human mind caught in this cycle of time. When people in the present time want to escape the problems and stress of life, they feel that life 50 or 60 years ago was relaxed and they want to go back to that time for peace and happiness. So this was all about theme. Let's move to the characters of this story. So the protagonist is Charlie, and he is a true representative of modern men. He is a victim of stress, insecurity, and fear, and he wants to run away from reality. He is an escapist and wants to escape from the world of harsh realities. He is fond of stamp collection, it's a hobby, okay, which he takes up to make his leisure hours more productive and fulfilling experience. But his psychiatrist friend calls it a temporary refuge from reality. He yearns to lead a good, simple life of his grandfather's time when things were pretty nice and peaceful. He quests for the fabulous ordinariness of a bygone age, that was an ordinary age which has passed on. Okay, so he had a quest to go to that bygone age that was free from modern razzle dazzle sophistication and material comforts, but exudes peace and tranquility. He wants to go to Galesburg, Illinois in the year 1894 when the First World War was still 20 years off and the Second World War still 40 years ahead. He is an imaginative person. Hence, on the wings of his imagination, he takes a flight to the non existent world, the third level, at Central Station. But after finding it once, he and his wife fail to find it again. In short, Charlie is the true representative of the modern man who is torn between the pulls and pressures of a hectic modern life and wants to escape since he is not happy. Okay, so it's all about Charlie. Let's move to Louisa. Louisa is Charlie's wife. She is loving and caring towards her husband. However, she is a simple lady and it is not difficult to take her in. She refuses to accept the psychiatrist's observation that her husband is unhappy. She takes this comment as a personal attack and feels kind of mad. On being told the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, etc., she feels satisfied with the psychiatrist's explanation. When Charlie talks to her about his predicament regarding the third level, she gets alarmed and advises him not to look for the third level anymore. Her husband's exchanging the new currency with the old one is a cause of concern for her, and she tells Charlie emphatically to stop looking for it. When Charlie tells her about Sam's disappearance, she joins him in looking for the third level every weekend. Let's move to Sam. So, Sam is Charlie's psychiatrist friend. Sam is a psychiatrist by profession. He is a typical city boy. When Charlie shares his visiting the third level, he tells him it is a waking dream wish fulfillment. He tells him that he is looking for ways to escape since he is not happy. But he immediately revises his statement that Charlie is a victim of insecurities of modern life. He dubs the argument of narrator's hobby of stamp collection as a temporary refuge from reality. He does not believe in mixing up his profession with his friendship. He gets fascinated by Charlie's description of Galesburg, Illinois, as a wonderful town with big old flame houses, huge lawns, tremendous trees lining the street. He is also affected by the pulls and pressures of modern life that he thinks of escaping to the peaceful world of Galesburg of 1894. In the end, he discovers the third level of Grand Central and goes there. He writes a letter from there advising Charlie and Louisa to keep finding the third level because it is worse. According to Charlie, Sam must have set up his little hay field and grain business as he can't go back to his old business as psychiatrists are redundant in Galsburg of 1894. So this is all about the characters of the third level, and with this I am ending the video. So thank you everybody. I hope this must have helped you a bit.